Welcome to On The Bit. I'm Dave from Dream Thoroughbreds, and with me is Lenny from Bluegrass Bloodstock. How are you, Lenny?
Good, Dave.
That's good, mate. How's young Maya?
Very
Coming
good.
on? Yes.
Yeah.
Lenny and Nicole had a baby girl last week, if you didn't watch last week's edition. Maya, so so you keep you very busy, mate.
Yeah, no, it's exciting, Dave. It's good to be back on The Bit.
That's right. Two fillies in the family.
That's it.
The championships encountered a false start last week, mate. A bit of rain around in Sydney. So, but once they eventuated, it was some exciting racing, and another 4 Group 1s this Saturday at Randwick on a improving track this week. Likely, maybe get to dead. There's some people are still saying it may stay at slow, and the rail is out 6 metres, so a few little things to overcome in our selection. So first up, mate, the big one for really the championships is the $4 million Group 1 Queen Elizabeth Stakes at weight for age over 2,000 metres, mate, and a real world-class field lining up for this one.
Awesome, Dave. It's amazing when money gets put up.
Yeah, money, that's right.
The good horses come, don't they? It's pretty much a Cox Plate field, I thought.
I thought it was better than last year's Cox Plate field.
Probably is with those international horses in it. It makes it very strong. I found it pretty tough to single one out, but I'm going to stick with the Japanese runner To The World.
Yeah,
I thought he was fantastic in the BMW. He was wide and working from well back. The horse that beat him will win the Sydney Cup in Hartnell. I think this horse here was coming here with this race in mind. His credentials over 2,000 are really good. He's had 3 starts for 2 wins and a second against world-class opposition. That run would have topped him off. And I think he's drawn a good gate here as well, and I think he'll be closer than he was the other day. You got about $4.20 on offer at the moment. I reckon you'll get better than that on the day, and I think he's a good each way bet for mine on The Bit To The World.
I've been on contributor all the entire autumn, and I've just seen no reason to get off him now. Actually, thought he was outstanding last start when he sprinted from the tail of the field to win the Rampant. I must say though, there was a lot of pace in that Rampant, and I'm not sure there's going to be the same amount of pace in this race on Saturday, but I think 2,000 metres is his perfect distance. He's obviously acclimatised well to Australia, and that's one of the keys to these internationals is how they acclimatise. I think probably he's the best horse racing in Australia at the moment, outside of the Japanese horses that have come over to try and take our money. James McDonald on board. He'll ride a cool race on Saturday. Wait for him to come over the rise, and then I think he'll be unleashing out wide. I think he can out-sprint them and win. So he's $3.40. You wouldn't want to be taking too much less than that in a really competitive field, but I think he's on the bit. I thought Criterion is his danger on Saturday. Another horse really suited by the 2,000. Loves Randwick, Criterion. He'll get a nice run midfield and likely to do no work in the middle stages. And he can actually sprint pretty quickly too. I think he's only 3rd up for Saturday. I think it's the Quinella for me. I've got a big question mark over Adelaide. I just didn't think he could win first up over the 2,000.
Long time between drinks, isn't it? It's a bit shorter preparation last time in the Cox.
Well, that's right. The Cox Plate was a monster run last spring, but he was coming off a run, actually a spring campaign in Europe, or a winter campaign in Europe, and he was only 6 weeks break into that Cox Plate. Now he's 6 months here. I just thought it was a lot harder task on paper. The second Group 1 is the $1.6 million Sydney Cup over 3,200, mate, and you've already probably told us who you like.
Yeah, Dave, I think he's a good thing. You're pretty much with your weight for age racing and your handicaps. If a horse is dominant at weight for age and then drops in weight back to a handicap, you pretty much label him a good thing, and that's exactly what Hartnell's doing here. He carried 57.5 in the BMW and was very impressive over a world-class horse into the world, and he drops to 52 here over 2 miles, and he's won over 2 miles at Newmarket in the UK, so you know he's going to get the trip. I can't really see how they're going to beat him. I think there's sort of about 230, 240 on offer at the moment. I'll be taking every bit of that and multing it up into whatever you like over the weekend.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to beat Hartnell on the weights. He's pitched in at 52 kilos, as you said. Since the weights came out for this race, he's won a Group 1, a Group 3, and he's come second in Group 1 to contributor. impossible to really tip anything else. He's $2.20. I think you said there might be $2.60 on some of the corporates, but anything $2.
Palmer better got him at $2.60.
Anything above $2, I think you just jump on. I thought Who Shot the Barman looks the Quinella horse. Thought he was a horse that was really crying out for the 3,200 metres, and but on the weights, I just can't see how we can turn it around to Hartnell. So
that's probably how you can get value in this race, Dave. I actually thought he was the horse as well.
Yeah.
He's put the writing on the wall, and he ran a really good third in the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, that's right.
He looks like he's going really good in this prep.
The third Group 1 is the $1 million Queen of the Turf for fillies and mares at set weights over 1,600 metres, mate. Tough race this, with plenty of different form lines converging together.
Head's telling me First Seal, Dave.
I thought you might in my head.
Heart saying Catkins. first Seal probably. I thought she'd get the 2,000, but she probably didn't in the end. I think coming back to a mile suits her perfectly here. But I'm going to go with Catkins again. She hasn't won a Group 1, but I think the key addition is Marrera riding her. I think she's going as good as she ever has. I don't think she's going any worse.
Yeah.
I think the prospect of a bit of give in the track's really going to suit. She's going to jump from 10. She's probably going to follow Noble Protector across, get on its back, and with that race fitness and the prospect of the wet track and Marrera on, I'm hoping she'll be too strong at the end. But I'd be having a saver myself on First Seal. I'd be backing the both of them because I think the winner will probably come out of those two.
Yeah, I was going for a bit of an upset in this. I thought Amanpour looked great each way value here at the $35 and $8 to place. She's third up on Saturday. She's been set perfectly to peak on Saturday. She was second to Catkins last start. She meets Catkins worse on the weights, but she was 1,200 up to 1,500 at that second run, whereas Catkins was pretty rock hard fit. She ran out a very strong 1,600 as she's been placed at Group 2 level here over 2,000, which is what I think you need over the Randwick Mile. She'll settle rather handy to the lead, and I think she could just poke her head through and knock off some of her more fancied rivals. There's going to be a lot more pace in these races. It's not going to be a sit and sprint race on Saturday with a few sort of on paces in this race, like Noble Protector. He's been very impressive against lower opposition in Melbourne, but I just thought he was a slight risk at the 340 because this is no doubt the toughest race she's been in this prep. And I will say that I've always thought First Seal is a better horse at Randwick, so rather than Rose Hill where she's been beaten in the last two starts. So I did think that maybe she could turn it around, but I just thought she was short again. I just don't think I can declare her again, but if she won, it wouldn't surprise me. But it's a race I reckon you need to go wide in your multis, in your quaddies and things. The final Group 1 is the $1 million Oaks for 3-year-old fillies over 2,400, mate, and nice Oaks for this year, mate.
Yeah, some nice progressive staying fillies, Dave. I've settled with Ballet Sweet. There's a couple of High Shap fillies in this.
Yeah, there is.
He's obviously passed away, High Shap, but he's flying as a sire. He's always been renowned for his colts. And suddenly he's getting a few fillies that are starting to go good over here, which is a great sign for that stallion. This filly's fourth run in from a spell. She went from a benchmark 70 at Randwick, which she won, and then the next start she went to Group 1 Binary, and she was finishing really hard, and she only got beaten at just over a length, finishing fourth. Everything said to me like that the mile and a half was really going to suit her here. So I'm thinking the High Shap factor, getting a mile and a half, this filly's on an upward spiral, prospect of giving a track, which I think the High Shaps appreciate. I think there's about $7.50 on offer about her. I think she's a nice each way bet for mine on the bit.
Yeah, I'm really keen on Ballet Sweet here as well. High Shap filly, having a 7th career start, shows a lot of staying promise. As you said, High Chaparral, you just look through the meeting on Saturday, contributors are High Chaparral. There's High Chaparrals everywhere. He's just a super sire. He's got a lot of his sons are at stud, and as we said, we've got the High Chaparral colt that we bought at Inglis that we think's a cracker as well. So he'll be available. We'll talk about the open day next week, but he'll be there to see. So anyway, Ballet Sweet, High Shap filly, last run of the binary was great. She worked to the line well. I think she was just looked like she was crying out for the 2400. She's got the services of Ryan Moore this weekend. Now he's a superstar jockey. Some people might really know him, but he obviously won the Cox Plate last year on Adelaide and the Melbourne Cup on Protectionist. He'll get a beautiful ride in transit, and I just think she'll be very strong at the end of the race. She's actually unbeaten at Randwick, and the dead track will really suit her. Or hopefully gets to a dead track. She's currently, as you said, $7, so I think you can shop around. You might be able to get a little bit better on Saturday, and I thought she was on the bid as well. Stable news, Lenny. Any stable news for the weekend?
I wasn't in last week, obviously, but
you're in hospital.
Yeah, I was in hospital. But Malaguera ran me, I think the week before.
Yeah,
he ran
Mornington.
Mornington, and he went really well. So that was a $100,000 race that he finished second in, and he's set to race again on Saturday at Flemington. So he was a purchase out of the Vobis Gold Sale, which is next weekend.
Very good buy, that one. Longnack, he's going to run, well, it was Sandown next Wednesday. They've actually transferred it to Seymour. It's benchmark 70 over 1200 metres, which is the same class he won in last start. He'll again be hard to beat. Obviously, Seymour's a lot different track. Will depend on the barrier that he draws down there, but I would think if he's running on Wednesday, it'd be hard to beat. Shoe Fetish trialled the other morning. She trialled, well, not exceptional, really well. She got beat on the line, but the horse that beat her is an unbeaten filly as well by Sebring. So she's set to start off her campaign at Cranbourne next Friday night. I suppose the most important thing for us is that we've got our 2015 Yearling Parade on at Pinecliff Sunday week, so that's April 19th. Starting at 9:30, goes to about 11:30. We'll have 6 yearlings to parade, our 2 colts, one by High Chaparral and one by Exceed and Excel, and our 4 fillies, one by Sebring, by Magnus, by Camford Cliffs, and one by Dewporth. So you can contact me on 0416 105 666 for more details. Includes a barbecue lunch, refreshments, and a bit of a tour around Pinecliff, which is an excellent place to view and see what facilities our horses get trained in. So that's next Sunday, and as I said, that High Chaparral is a cracker, so if you want a horse that potentially is a stallion prospect, get along next Sunday.
And it's not, shares have been selling.
Yeah, I have been selling. There's only 50% of him left.
Yeah.
And as you said, High Chaparral died, so they're not making High Chaps anymore. This is a great opportunity to get into one that's very athletic.
Out of the Dane Hill mare as well, which is a great cross. So shocking that won the Melbourne Cup a few years ago. He was out of a Dane Hill mare. So those staying lines, when they get Dane Hill on the female side, it puts a bit of speed in, and you can get an exceptional racehorse.
We would hope to be at the championships in a couple of years' time.
That's the plan
with that horse. Best on breeding, Lenny. Who's your best on breeding for the win? For the weekend, sorry.
It's actually a horse that we've got a half to, Dave. Jaffles.
Yeah.
It was really good last start, returned to form. It was purchased from the English Premier Sales in 2013 for $105,000. He's by the extremely proficient sire of winners in Schwazia. He's the sire of the champion sprinter in Star Spangled Banner. This colt has a really deep pedigree. Second dam is by Mill Reef, who's a champion sire overseas.
It's a filly.
Jaffles is a filly. She's a dam of a host of stakes horses, including 7 individual winners. So the going through the pedigree, the step up to a mile for Jaffles is really ideal.
Yeah.
So,
and we've got the Magic Albert half to Jaffles. He's a 2-year-old at the moment. He's in training with Lee Friedman at Flemington. He's going very well. Got a good report about him this week. So
he was a sale topper, Dave, wasn't he?
At Magic Millions in March last year. Really happy with this. He's a gelding now, though. We have gelded him, but he's settled down now that he's a gelding, and he's showing some really good signs. So actually, still shares in that too. So if you're interested, just give me a call. My number will be at the end of the video here. Value bets. Randwick Race 5, number 1, Scissor Kick. Really interested in this horse. He's had a short let up since his last run in the Group 2 Hobartville behind Hallowed Crown. He ran out of room that day and only got beaten under 2 lengths. He's been competitive in all the 3-year-old features and comes into this race on the back of a nice trial only 10 days ago. Drawn barrier 7, think that's perfect for him. think he'd be storming home at the end of the race. He's $8 in the early markets. I thought it was excellent value here, great value. I doubt he'll actually start $8 on the day. And once I finish filming this, I'm going straight to the TAB. That's only $8. On the bit special, Lenny. Who's your on the bit special for the weekend?
Dave, I'm going to Morphettville. Race 4 on the bit for mine's Mendeville. Smart galloper who was Henry Dwyer. It's just caught at Mooney Valley last start. Over the 2000, that was his 3rd run in. He's been taken across to Morphettville for his peak run here, his 4th run, and he finds a really nice race, and there's just no speed whatsoever in it. I think he'll just go to the front and control the race. He's a winner at the trip, and he's the best horse in this race, and he's weighted accordingly with the top weight. So Henry's got a claim with Ryan Hurdle of 2 kilos, which puts the horse 3 kilos above the minimum. He's $5.50 at the moment, and I think that's fantastic value. You can have a bet each way, and I don't think he'll miss the first 3.
On the bit for me is Randwick Race 2, number 3, Federal. He was beaten by a grit last start, but they met with a 3.5 kilogram turnaround this week. I do have a good opinion of this horse. I remember he beat Due Date one day at Wyong one day, and he looked like a good horse in the making that day. 1400 metres on a big track like Randwick will really suit this horse. He's got the J-Mac aboard, looks on the bit for me at $3 or better. So yeah, he's the one I want to go with on the weekend. Off the bit, Lenny, who are you laying for the weekend?
Off the bit. Lenny, what to do off the bit lay? Oh, there we are. Yeah. There we are, sorry. The French House, Dave. This is at Flemington, race 2. Not sure how this filly's $3 favourite when she's only won 1 race, which was at Kilmore out of 7 starts. There's been horses that have basically been performing in similar races as her and going a lot better. And she's been trapped wide and things, and sort of been a bit unlucky running 5ths, and she's been made favourite off that. So I think she's a false favourite for mine. So off the bit, the French House. I'm
off the bit with Randwick Race 4, number 2, Lake Geneva. I'm a bit of a fan of this filly, but my feeling was that she's had 2 big grand finals in the last 6 weeks in 2 different states. So she ran 3rd in the Blue Diamond, 3rd in the Golden Slipper. And although she's only dropping back to a Group 3, I just thought it was still packed with some talented fillies. And they'll be peaking for this race. So I just thought the $2.20 was really skinny and just looks a late bet to me. So that's it for this week. Next week will be our last edition of On the Bit for the autumn. So we'll see you next week. Good luck.
Will do. Cheers.